Has it been 16 years since Tron Legacy, which I loved, by the way? We finally have a new Tron movie, Tron Ares. Let's review. Tron Ares stars Jared Leto, Greta Lee, Evan Peters, and is directed by Yoshim Roning.
Something I do not understand.
What's up, guys? Welcome to a brand new 2025 review, a brand new Tron movie starring Jared Leto, Greta Lee, Tron Ares, and I am super excited. I just got out of it. I don't need to do an out-of-theater reaction because the embargo has been lifted. And yeah, let's just dive right into this review. Okay, let's give you a quick plot synopsis before we start, and then after that, I'll tell you what I liked and what I maybe didn't like, okay? And before we get started, by the way, there is a brand new release date for The Crow, Days of Sodom. That is a Crow fan film by Cody Falk, Wet Paint Pictures. I am an associate producer on it. We're really excited. It was going to come out at the end of this month, but Cody and his team want to do some fine-tuning on it. There's still an actual premiere at the end of this month, but the official release and the final version of the movie will be at the end of November. You can see the actual date right here, and we're really looking forward to you guys seeing the movie. I haven't seen the movie yet, so I'm really excited, and I will be doing a review as non-biased as I possibly can. But anyway, let's give you a quick plot synopsis for Tron Ares. I think you're going to be able to tell right away that this is pretty much kind of a clean slate. I don't know if it's a reboot, because everything that has happened in the last two movies still has happened, but you can tell when you're watching this movie that they're trying not to muddy the waters, to make the plot of this as simple as possible. And really, at its core, this is just a fun action movie, you know, with a heavy sci-fi element, because obviously it's Tron. Evan Peters plays Julian Dillinger. He is the grandson of the previous owner of this major corporation that is in charge of the current version of the grid. And they've created this AI technology called Ares, which is played by Jared Leto. And I think the big hook of this movie is let's bring the Tron world into the real world, which I'm glad they did that. They've never really done that before, you know, to really have like the, you know, the cycles and everything on the actual city streets. But when you get right down to it, Dillinger, he's all about greed. He's not about the betterment of man. Then you have this character, Eve, played by Greta Lee. She wants to use this technology for good. And they're both trying to capture this permanence code, because currently if you bring anything from the grid into the real world, it can only be there for 29 minutes. But with the permanence code, it can be there for life. So that power in the wrong hands could be catastrophic. In the right hands, it could be better for society. Ares happens to be the ultimate weapon, but Ares also is like a learning technology, much like AI is. And so, of course, both sides can benefit from Ares. I'm not going to really go into any spoilers as far as if Ares is good or bad, but I can tell you that Jared Leto as Ares is definitely one of the main characters of this movie. He is probably the most important character of this movie, at least from, you know, the grid standpoint. And he was, I guess, the biggest question mark for me. Jared Leto doesn't always land, and he hasn't had the best track record over the last few years, but he delivers in this. It's not like freaking crazy great or anything. The character himself is pretty robotic, but I think Jared Leto adds some charm to the character. He's, you know, learning the ways of our world. He definitely has a Jones for Depeche Mode, which is always a bonus. I freaking love Depeche Mode. Funny enough, I just watched a Depeche Mode documentary, I think last week. Didn't even know that Depeche Mode was even like represented in this movie. And we'll get more into the music, but I want to stay on the characters here real quick. Greta Lee, I absolutely adored her as well. You know, she's just like the ultimate rootable character. She's a good character. She wants good for the human race. But she's just very charismatic. She's funny at times, and you can't help but just love her. One thing to note about her, too, is she does have this sister that had cancer. And so she's struggling with this idea of taking over the company, because her sister has pretty big shoes to fill. So that is sort of a plot point here as well. And anytime Evan Peters is in anything, he's always freaking awesome. If you were to just kind of look at this character, yes, it is a generic evil, greedy company man type character. But Evan Peters definitely adds some weight and some charm to the character. Yeah, he's still evil, but he's also young, and they kind of play off of that. Gillian Anderson actually plays his mother. Plot-wise, I think that's all I'm going to tell you. I could definitely go into some more spoilery type stuff. I'm sure there's an elephant in the room that I haven't mentioned, and I'll keep that out of here. I will say, if you are a fan of Tron Legacy, don't get your hopes up, okay? Because that feels like a very different movie than this. They barely, if even at all, mention anything about Tron Legacy in this movie. But the first movie is definitely a major player concerning this movie, okay? And there's some cool elements from the first movie that are brought over to this movie. Again, no spoilers. Guys, getting right down to it though, I had a really good time with this. It's a big surprise. I expected nothing going into this. And I think a big reason for that is the time lapse between the last movie, which came out in, I believe, 2009. And I absolutely love Tron Legacy. I have the freaking 3D Blu-ray. But it's just been so long. And again, Jared Leto is a big question mark these days. But thankfully, this is a solid little movie. And I think it was a good idea to sort of just strip it down, make it feel very simple in nature in terms of the plot, and just make it a fun action movie, putting the grid in the real world. And I think they achieved that goal. I think this movie at its core is just very fun. See this on the biggest screen. I know that that's probably a cliche at this point. You probably saw some of the reviews on X, on social media, but it's true. See it on the biggest screen you can. See it in IMAX. I didn't see it in 3D, but just in IMAX, it was very, very immersive. The score by Nine Inch Nails is one that I want to own immediately. All the songs in the movie are very catchy and really kind of lift up all the scenes, especially the action scenes. There's some really cool moments in this movie that work so well because of that score. And a big thing about Tron for me is the music. Tron Legacy, I think Daft Punk did the music in that movie. It's freaking glorious. Same thing here. I can't tell you which score I prefer, but both of them are equally effective. The score is a character in the movie. That's what it feels like, okay? So you're gonna get some good, awesome grid action. You're gonna get some crazy, like, real world action in the movie. And there's some really fun characters. There's some really nice, funny moments. Look, they're not gonna make you, like, rethink your whole philosophy on life or anything like that, but you're just going to have a good time watching them while you eat popcorn, okay? As far as any cons, you might say that the generic nature of the plot might be a con, but I honestly think it actually benefits the movie just because of how long it's been since Legacy. This movie does feel like a reset. I hope this movie is a hit because I would love more Tron movies. I always welcome more Tron movies, and hopefully we don't have to wait so long for the next one if we do get one. So overall, I'm going to give this a low purchase worthy. Had a really good time with Tron Ares. I can't wait for you guys to see this. Might go this weekend, take my wife with me. She didn't get to go with me this time. I did get to go with my son though, and my son is a massive Tron junkie, and he really enjoyed this movie. So there's an extra quick review for you. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day on Fridays. We do few for Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums and on my socials. Support me on Patreon. Become a channel member. Buy me a coffee. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day, and Drumdum out.